how the CIA secretly used Operation Mockingbird to manipulate public perception through the media. Now, the CIA should not even be operating in the United States. It's against the law, but we know they do it anyway. CIA, along with the FBI, like I said in my last report, the CIA needs to be banned as well. They need to be disbarred, broken up as well, because they do not have America's best interests at heart. We know that the CIA are the ones that actually helped put Biden in power. They're the ones that signed off on saying that Hunter Biden laptop was not real, was Russian misinformation, disinformation, and people believed it. And I think it was somewhere around 20 or 30% of the people said they would have voted for Trump if they known the Hunter Biden laptop was real. So the CIA has been doing things like this over the years against America's best interests. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Liberty Daily by way of the Discern report. Cactus Williams reports that Fox News host Jesse Waters recently shed light on Operation Mockingbird. Now, Operation Mockingbird is something I've been talking about for years. This is like one of the first conspiracy theory rabbit holes after 9/11 that I went down. This is when I found out that everything that comes from the media has to be vetted by yourself. You have to do your own research. You can't trust anything that comes from the mainstream media because of Operation Mockingbird. But an undercover Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, initiative aimed at manipulating public perception through the media. This operation involved the infiltration of journalists and informants into prominent U.S. media outlets to advance the federal government's viewpoints and political agendas. Quote, Langley was laundering narratives to the press and into the public's veins. Waters' remarks emphasized the extensive influence of the CIA on the media landscape. According to Waters, at least 22 American news organizations, including the New York Times, Life magazine, and CBS, have individuals on the CIA payroll serving as conduits for disseminating disinformation, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Now, he said Langley was laundering narratives. They're doing more than laundering. They literally write some of these reports and hand it over to the media people, and they regurgitate it. They read it verbatim. The CIA actually writes some of these stories. And we know that Anderson Cooper from CNN, he worked for the CIA as an intern. Now we all know once a spook, always a spook. So they got connections. The CIA is everywhere in all of these mainstream media platforms. So you can't trust any of it. The discussion on Operation Mockingbird was sparked by a recent acknowledgement from the New York Times, which acknowledged the existence of a deep state network, a term often used to describe a clandestine group of government and media personnel working to undermine elected officials or promote specific agendas. Again, I've been talking about this forever, and I was considered a crazy conspiracy theorist. It seems like conspiracy theorists are all turning out to be correct. But the newspaper portrayed this network positively, suggesting it played a beneficial role within the federal government. Remember when they used to say that there is no deep state, Trump is making this up, and now they're admitting to a deep state? Waters also referenced the 1975 Church Committee hearings, a significant moment when the public became aware of Operation Mockingbird's existence. Now they're referring to the Church Committee as the people that was investigating JFK stuff. But during these hearings, William Colby, the outgoing CIA director at the time, testified about the agency's efforts to embed assets within major media outlets revealing details that shocked the American public. Sorry. The church committee was the ones um, that found out about Operation Mockingbird. This revisitation of Operation Mockingbird by Fox News underscores ongoing concerns about the relationship between the media and government agencies. And this is why a trust in the mainstream media is at an all-time low, because they have been caught so many times in so many lies and creating so many narratives, and no one believes them anymore. And that's why they're trying to come up with laws now to prop up the mainstream media, which I hope these laws that they're trying to implement get shot down. I know it was one that they tried to put forth a year or two ago, that didn't make it. That basically wanted to give money to the more money to prop up these mainstream medias. Now, what part of capitalism is that? How is that capitalism? We're funding mainstream media. That makes no sense. But it raises doubts about the integrity of the news organizations and highlights the potential for covert operations to influence public discourse and opinions. These discussions echo historical instances where the line between journalism and state influence became increasingly blurred. The clandestine American endeavor unfolded during the early years of the Cold War. This covert project aimed to sway the influence of major media outlets by enlisting and compensating news organizations and journalists. These individuals essentially acted as undercover operatives for their country, utilizing propaganda as subversion tactics. Now, ramifications of Operation Mockingbird may still resonate within the media realm. Mickey Kennedy, founder of E-Releases, wrote that Operation Mockingbird was indeed a real initiative orchestrated by the CIA in the late 1940s. Without veering into conspiracy territory, Kennedy said the ramifications of Operation Mockingbird may still resonate within the media realm. Of course it is. One can only fathom the levels of distrust that arose when this covert scheme was exposed to the public. Suddenly, friends and colleagues were revealed to be operating against the very principles of journalism they purported to uphold. It's akin to the fallout experience when journalists like Stephen Glass are unmasked. I'm sorry, Stephen Glass. Stephen and Stephen. The public's already fragile trust in journalists is further eroded when imposters and wrongdoers are uncovered among the hardworking ranks. What the government perhaps failed to consider at the time were the enduring effects of planting deceptive journalists to advance their agendas. Who can forget the early 2000s debacle surrounding government-controlled information regarding weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, in Iraq? Remember that? We still haven't found them WMDs. We went to a whole war, destroyed a whole country, killed millions of innocent people for something that wasn't even there. This whole thing was made up. But it seemed as though no alternative sources were investigating the matter. Despite mounting suspicions, it took years before the comprehensive investigation was conducted, revealing the truth. There were no WMDs. When the sole source of information is the entity under scrutiny, verifying facts becomes an arduous task. One would hope that in the aftermath of a major scandal like Operation Mockingbird, measures would be implemented to circumvent gatekeeping and ensure government transparency. But instead, they're doubling down. They want more censorship. So when you go against the Operation Mockingbird, you will be censored online. You will be blacklisted. You will be booted from platforms. You will be investigated by the FBI. They will come knocking on your door, like I talked about in my last video. If you don't stay in line, if you don't stay in line with the Operation Mockingbird. However, the Iraqi War WMD saga suggests otherwise. It appeared that no lessons from Operation Mockingbird had been internalized or applied. They just, because they were caught red-handed. But again, they continue to do it. They don't care. The media is often referred to as the unofficial fourth branch of government for a reason. Yet when efforts are made to impede press freedom, trust is fractured across the board. Again, no one trusts mainstream media. No, but let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.